Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to audit course session number 2. Today we are going to estimate the higher frequency response and also we will determine the bandwidth. So this is just the continuation of session number 1. So session number 1 we have seen that we have simulated the single stage common emitter BJT amplifier using NPN transistor, and these are all the parameters which are given, and the beta value and the VB value was already given to us. Now there are some few parameters more which we are going to analyze. So the few parameters more for high frequency estimation are VBE, it is also called as CJE or C pi, is given as 36 picofarad. CBC is equal to 4 picofarad. It is also called as CJC or C mu, and CCE or CCS. It's 1 picofarad given. So CWI wiring capacitance, input wiring capacitance, is given by 6 picofarad. CWO is given as 6 picofarad. Okay. I am not yet confirmed whether the high frequency response has been covered in your theory lectures of ECAD, but still, you all the formula will remain the same. Okay, so we will first calculate the input Miller capacitance CMI, which is given by C mu into 1 minus AV mid. Now AV mid we have already estimated in the last session number 1, 49.56, the magnitude. So we substituted over here 1 minus of 49.56. If you multiply that by 4 picofarad, you will get 202.24 picofarad. Now, the input capacitance is given by CWI, that is input wiring capacitance, plus CMI, that is input Miller capacitance, plus C pi. So if you add them together, you will get a total number as CI as 244.24 picofarad. Now, similarly, we'll estimate the output Miller capacitance, which is given by the formula C mu into 1 minus 1 upon AV mid. Now, AV mid value we know, C mu value we know. So, if you calculate in a calculator, you will get a number as 4.04 picofarad. Now, the output capacitance CO will be given by CWO, the output wiring capacitance, the output Miller capacitance, and plus CCE. If you add these numbers together, you will get a number as 13.04 picofarad. Now, we'll calculate the higher cutoff frequency at the input side, which is given by the formula 1 upon 2 pi R equivalent into Ci. In this case, the R equivalent is R sig parallel to R1, parallel to R2, parallel to R pi. R pi value you can estimate from the previous analysis. This is 1.655, and yeah. So let us go ahead. RSIC also you can find out from the value is given in the circuit itself. Sorry. Now R equivalent will be 578.29 ohms. So please verify this number with a calculator. And so hence FHI will be equal to 1.1268 megahertz. Okay, megahertz means 10 raised to 6. Similarly, you calculate the output side higher cutoff frequency. It is given by the same formula 1 upon 2 pi 1 upon 2 pi R equivalent into C naught. Here the R equivalent is RC parallel to RL. So that number you will get it as 1.419 kilo ohms. So FHO will be, if you solve it in a calculator, it will be equal to 8.6 megahertz. Now FH we have to select as minimum of FHI, comma FHO. So that number will be 1.1268 megahertz. Now the bandwidth will be given by the higher cutoff frequency minus the lower cutoff frequency. The lower cutoff frequency we have determined from the previous analysis, and its number is 316.81 hertz. So we substitute it over here, 1.1268 megahertz minus 316.81 hertz. That number will be come out to be 1.1264 megahertz. Okay, and if we try to plot the magnitude, I mean the frequency plot of it, is the gain in dB versus the frequency in the logarithmic scale. So you will get this curve, which is the gain is reducing at lower frequencies and the gain is reducing at higher frequencies. Basically, the reason for the fall of gain at lower frequencies is the external coupling capacitors and the bypass capacitor. And the reason for the fall of gain at higher frequencies is because of the various parasitic and inter-electrode capacitances. Okay, so the gain, the mid-band gain over here, the highest value is 13.3.9 dB. So if you go 3 dB down and if you extend this down, you will get FL and FH, two cutoff frequencies. One is lower cutoff frequency and one is higher cutoff frequency. Okay, which is 316.81 hertz to 1.1268 megahertz. So these are the numbers which we are getting. Okay, so let's build the circuit and let's test it out whether the FH and the bandwidth values are coming all right or not. Okay, so let me just open the LT Spice. Yeah, so this is the circuit which we have built in the session number 1. So we'll build upon it and let's start then. Okay, so I will just adjust this to the screen so that it's visible, and let me adjust the LT Spice window also. Okay, so now we need to select various components. Okay, so CBE, CBC and CCE. Now how we need to add it? We have to find a suitable way to add these values inside the circuit. So the C pi, C mu and CCS can be added in the dot model statement only. So here we go to the dot model statement, same as last time. I'll just expand this part. Okay, so we have written dot model this. Let's just cut out the dot OP because it's not required over here. Okay, so this is IS, that is the reverse saturation current, and the beta value is given. So CJE is your C pi, which is equal to 36 picofarad. Okay, and then CJC is nothing but your value 4 picofarad. So this number is 4 picofarad, and you have the third term CCS, that can be written as over here CJS, which is equal to 1 picofarad. Okay, and we click on OK. So it has come up in the circuit. Let me just pull it a little this side. Yeah. So we have added the inter-electrode capacitances inside the dot model statement only. Now we have two more things to add: the wiring capacitances. Now wiring capacitances we cannot add in the dot model statement. So we'll see to it that here at the input wiring side and at the output wiring side. Okay. So I think we have to little bit adjust this so that we can attach this properly. So I will be shifting this a little out. Okay, and because it should be at the output side, no other capacitor should be connected before that. That is the wiring capacitances. Okay, similarly over here, this is CWI and that was CWO. So let us just ground this. See, why in reality the wiring capacitances are automatically uh, you know there, it's there because of the wires, but here we have to put some numbers. We have to additionally add a capacitor to simulate this behavior. This is around 6 picofarad. Okay, this is CWI, and this number is this value is CWO. Okay, so the value of CWO is let's see 8 picofarad. Okay, so here we'll enter the value as 8 picofarad. Okay, so now everything is done. We have added all the capacitances, just that we have to increase the range of frequencies. This is just the continuation from session number 1, so I'm not repeating it again, neither I have building the circuit. So here if I right click, I can change the stop frequency to, let's say, 10 megahertz and click on OK. That's the only change which we have to do. Rest all you remain as it is, keep it as it is. Now I will simulate the circuit. I will right click on it and add trace V out. Okay, so this is the frequency response which we are getting, which is quite correct. And that is what we have plotted in rough also, as you can see. But here it contains the phase plot also. So right click over here and right click on don't phase plot. Okay, so this is the frequency response which we are getting. As we see that at lower frequencies, the gain falls due to the coupling capacitors, and at the higher frequency, the gain falls due to the interelectrode or parasitic capacitances. And your x-axis is your logarithmic. As you can see, this is a logarithmic graph on the x-axis, and y-axis is the gain in dB. Okay, so if you want to find FL and FH from this curve, what we need to do is the highest value of the gain over here you can see is 33.89. So we have to go over here 30.89 value, 30.89. It's, as you can see, it's little bit difficult to set that number. Okay, by adjusting the curves. So here also it is 30 point, you know, 30.89. Okay, so 1.2, around 1.2 megahertz. Okay, close to that. So we are getting this range, but as you can see, it depends. It's not so accurate. Here it is 30.89. Here it is 30.93. So it's a little bit inaccurate method. So a better technique will be to use this only. What we have done so far before only. So we will use dot measure statement to complete this value. So the first statement will remain as it is. It will calculate the. Okay, let me just proceed this a little down. Okay. Uh, okay. Fine. This is fine. So what does the first statement is doing? First statement is directly calculating the peak value of the gain in dB. Second, the gain value in dB. I think not in dB, directly the maximum gain basically. Yeah, in dB. And this value 3 dB param, that is gain divided by square root of 2. It's calculating the 3 dB down value. Okay, and then we are estimating the bandwidth. Now this was to calculate the lower cutoff frequency. Now for the bandwidth we will require these 2 points. Okay, when it is rising, the rising first point, and when it is falling, the last point over here. Okay, at 3 dB down. So what we need to do is we need to modify this statement. So how we'll modify is we'll right click over here, and we will write, instead of when, we will write trigger. TRIG, trigger. Okay, so trigger is magnitude of V out of underscore under name, and that will be equal to value. And here this will happen when rise is equal to 1. Okay, now similarly in the target value over here we have to continue TAAR target value, and the same thing you copy, that is magnitude of this V of V out, and here instead of rise you have to write here fall equal to last. Okay, so that's what we have written over here. I'll explain the statement just in a moment. Just wait. Okay, I have to slightly reduce the. Okay, so here what does the statement means? Let me just. Yeah, so it means we are the bandwidth. Okay, bandwidth, how do we calculate? Bandwidth receives the frequency from which the magnitude of V out cross the value for the first time by rising to magnitude of the 3 dB over here. So here it is. It is first calculating this number for rise equal to 1, and next the triggering point is this, and the target value is this. The target value will be magnitude of V out underscore the name is equal to value 3 dB. So 3 dB down value. So where fall is equal to last. Okay. So that's the statement which we are doing, and we are assuming that this statement will directly give us the bandwidth. Let us see. So we'll again run. Yeah, we'll get the normal graph, but now we'll go to view and check the spice error log, and we'll get these numbers. Okay, we'll get these numbers over here. As you can see, the maximum gain is 33.89, which we already got before, and the 3 dB down value is 30.88 dB. Okay, and this, what is this, from 1 to 10 megahertz, right? This is the x-axis from 1 to 10 megahertz. Okay, and the bandwidth, as you can see, directly we are getting 1.2066 megahertz. E raised to 6 means 10 raised to 6. and it's giving FL and FH also from FL equal to 327.912 hertz to FH is equal to 1.20697 megahertz. So these are the numbers which we are getting over here, and we can cross check these numbers with this values over here. So we were getting calculated values as 1.12868, and bandwidth we were getting 1.1264, and here we are getting simulated value as 1.2066 megahertz the bandwidth, and 1.2069 megahertz is the FH value. Okay, so as you can see, more or less the bandwidth is same as your higher cutoff frequency values over here. Okay, so I got slightly, on a higher side, that is 1.087, 1.084, because I took the range a little bit, slightly different. Okay, so this is how we simulate the higher cutoff frequency response for a single stage BJT amplifier, and that's how we automate calculations at the output directly, so that we get the directly over here. Okay, spice error log. As you can see, it's very easy to do the automation of calculations once we know this technique. It's very straightforward. Okay, so directly from this we can take the print screen. So y'all have to take the print screen of the circuit schematic, take the print screen of the waveforms, and also take the print screen of this value. So 3 print screens you have to take, and that will complete it. And do complete the exercise also. So after completing this, make the table. This is just exercise given for reference. So for exercise, all the registers and capacitors values being the same, only change beta to 150. So we have solved this assuming beta is 100, but you solve it using beta equal to 150. So just a continuation of the previous section. And the rest all same, only change RL to 10K. This also you have to do continue from the previous session. Then rest all same, only change C mu to 3 picofarad and see the effect on the higher cutoff frequency and hence the bandwidth. Rest all same, only change C pi equal to 40 picofarad. So C pi value earlier it was 36 picofarad. Now you increase it and see the effect on the bandwidth. So you can comment on the bandwidth, which capacitor is affecting which frequency. I mean the lower cutoff frequency or the higher cutoff frequency. So these are the exercises which you have to do. So as soon as you refer to this video, you have to directly start solving this with the new values, that is beta equal to 150 and then RL to 10K. Then we have to change from all the other values same. Now change C pi to 3 picofarad and sorry, C mu to 3 picofarad and C pi to 40 picofarad as per the exercise, and comment on the result. Okay, so this is what you need to do and get this output, that is the frequency response for a BJT amplifier. So that is all for this video, and next time we'll begin with the single stage MOSFET amplifier frequency, low frequency and high frequency, uh, uh, the values determination. So that's it for today. Next time we'll meet next time. So have a good day and thank you.